Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have one more match for you here, the last one of the Atlanta homestand. NYXL getting ready to go up against the Toronto Defiant. NYXL looking for that perfect stage on the cusp of it. And if we can get it, be able to clinch that #1 seed moving into the Stage 3 playoffs. So decent pressure on these guys. Toronto Defiant have been looking better and better with the new additions on that squad. So gonna see if they can find an upset here today.
And we do have our top 8 decided right now for the Stage 3 playoffs. This is possibly the hardest playoffs to predict in Overwatch League history. Stacked 8 teams, anyone's stage, not season. We'll get to that later. Anyone's stage to take right now. And for the Excelsior, remember, they are chasing the Titans right now in terms of season standings as well. So every single win will matter when you get to those season playoffs.
Absolutely, and I mean, including that victory that we saw from NYXL just yesterday, taking on the Florida Mayhem, were able to come out on top. But it's just been clean play from these guys throughout the duration of this stage. Now getting that victory tomorrow, now today, are poised to move forward 7-0.
And it hasn't been easy for New York in their last few matches, though. They did take that really rough series against Dallas. They did win it in the end, but it was a very close series. They weren't running Mecco. They ran into problems on the Pharah.
Yeah. Toronto, though, going to be looking to put up a strong fight. They have now Mangachu, we saw in that 1v1 versus Fran earlier, was able to take that victory, but they also have Logix, who has been an absolute boon for these guys in that Widowmaker role.
Yeah, he certainly has. And Widow is so important right now in this meta. You've got to have both a great Widow in terms of aim and accuracy, critical hits, that's the most important thing, but also a team that can give you space to get past these Orisa barriers, get around the Reinhardt shields. It's the Forest that we should be really looking at to set up the Widowmakers. It's also the Hanzos often you'll see on the edge there that force the Orisa out of position and give those opportunities.
Well, NYXL have been dipping into the DPS pool as well, so we'll see what they have prepared for us today. Please join me in welcoming them to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, the NYXL.
New York, just on the edge of first. It's always been the story of them in terms of the season standings here in the 2019 season. But they have a chance now to take that first place seed with the loss of the Vancouver Titans, suffered to the Valiant. A win here tonight will give them their first seed of the season, and that is going to be a huge boon for them. It's time they reclaim what was theirs nearly in the 2018 season.
Well, Toronto rebuilding, looking for that upset here today, looking to pull that perfect stage out from underneath the NYXL. We'll see if they can do it as we bring them out. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Toronto Defiant.
Defiant coming out here with a completely new look than what we saw from them at the very beginning of this season. No longer an all-Korean roster, but a lot of the best the West has to offer joining this squad. It's going to take some time to build synergy around these players. We will have Logix, Mangachu, and Gods on the roster. Shark still absent. It will be once again Yakpung heading up the main tank. So a 50-50 split here, Western and Korean, and that could cause problems when things start to break down. But I think map by map, this team is getting the coordination figured out.
We'll see if they can pull off this miracle upset here against NYXL. Take that perfect stage away from them. Yakpung on his return, subbing back in for Shark. You remember that 180 shatter coming down, hitting 5 members on the opposing team. It was looking good, but it's kind of been back to struggle street in that front line. And Mono has been putting up the numbers as of late, so this is going to be a really tough matchup to try to keep him alive in the front side of the fights here.
Certainly true. Now, important to mention, we haven't really been talking about it too much in terms of starting 6, but Saebyeolbe will not be in the opening lineup. They're playing Mecco. They need a dedicated Diva player to deal with such a great Pharah in Mangachu. Mangachu's Pharah has been phenomenal so far this stage, when he is as late as he joined it, and this is a struggle they had when they faced off against the Dallas Fuels. They just did not have that damage mitigation. It was such a big problem, they flexed Libero onto the Diva. In their last series, they put Saebyeolbe on the Diva. And this time, against such a Pharah Widow-oriented team, and on the Paul, our starting map, they are putting the focus back on that damage mitigation, putting Mecco in this lineup. And I think because of this, we will see a cleaner New York against that style of play here tonight. at least from the outset.
Need to step up to the plate here, but seeing Meko back in is a boost. It shows that they are playing around with these different compositions and says, you know what, we don't need Saebyeolbe right now, but maybe he'll come in later. I'm sure that we'll be seeing him throughout the duration of this match. Maybe they have some other tricks up their sleeve. We've seen Flower on occasion, Pine still lurking in the background. But taking a look at our map set presented by Toyota, we will see where we are headed. Kicking things off, it's going to be Nepal for Control, then into Horizon Lunar Colony for Assault, Numbani for Hybrid, and Havana to round things out on Escort.
Yeah, so Nepal here, a great map to play a diva and play around the point. You don't necessarily need your own Pharah player on this map. You can play onto the point around these, you know, as we go into Shrine, around these pillars, right? And when you get onto the point, it's very difficult for Pharah to do clean damage there. They have to go around the barriers as well as the physical terrain. You take a look at Village, same situation, even better for sticking to the point. That's why we see Mei compositions so often on this map. So the Cloudwork Vendetta composition come out sometimes on this map for that reason, because it's very difficult for a Pharah to break in, to crack that defense. We will see Mangachu, surprise, surprise, starting this Pharah, but it's Nene who has to pick up the slack on the Sombra with Saebyeolbe out of the mix.
We'll see how he fares. We know that Nene is quite versatile. Widowmaker especially has been looking phenomenal from him when he was playing it in that 1v1 tournament during the All-Star weekend. Nene for now going to be scouting out, sees that translocator down from Logix. We'll just go ahead and take that one away. Bionet connects on the 2 actually, and God's able to scoop the first kill as Jonak gets taken down by the Storm Arrows. Really good start here for the side of Toronto Defiant. Hack goes through onto Yakun. God still just trying to snipe, trying to get that arrow there into Nene. Unable to find it, but Mono does get taken down, so 2 kills over to Toronto means that they can get the first cap on the point.
It's going to be very difficult to approach through the choke point right now against the Pharah damage coming out and all the burst that Mono's facing with Gods on this Hanzo. There's no Discord orbs to make that burst lethal right out the gates, but the damage will add up when you're trying to get a Winston in there. Logic's getting stunned there for a moment, trying to go for that greedy flank. We'll think twice the next time he does that.
God's just using that Sonic Arrow, spotting out the tank line here on the high ground. Getting a couple of those arrows in, near miss onto Anama. Mangachu wrapping around the backside. The Winston bubble going to be taken away. Barrage nearly online, but Mangachu, sliver of HP, manages to stay alive, but he's waiting for that healing to come through. Needs to get that pocket in from aid. He'll be able to receive it now. Nene around the backhand side, trying to escape. Mangachu pushing forward, trying to kill him off. Almost gets taken down. They will go their separate ways. Dragon Strike comes in from Gods, but he's not able to pick anybody off. So look has come in, and YXL in control.
Yeah, it's only a temporary cap, it looked like there, but actually they're able to hold on to this. Yakpung getting low several times in these fights.
Well, now the Barrage going to be coming in. Mangachu managed to find Libero, but now he's going to be taking a nap as the Sleep Dart comes in from Jonak. Knocks him to the ground, the EMP hits, and that's going to be 5 members on the side of Toronto, hacked out by Nene. Field Knight here onto the Sombra, but still quite healthy, just going to be pushing back in stealth. And YXL holding the point for now.
All right, there's a Dragon Strike coming out here just on the flank to prevent anyone from coming on the edge there.
Yeah, Minefield as well is going to knock Meko out of that suit. Eight's going to be taken down, so one less healer for the side of Toronto, but they're still looking for that flip more than halfway there. But Mono, with the Primal Rages, beating and batting everybody else back away from the point, isolating members on Toronto as they look for these kills. The double hop in, and Yakpung, he's trying to make it out of there. The Pioneer barely saves him, but all of this used by Toronto, and NYXL still hold the point.
Yeah, they still hold the point here. It wasn't the most ult-efficient hold, and their next worry is going to be the EMP coming up here from Logix, but they have the sound barrier. So as long as Anamo is able to position himself well, they can deal with this. Nene's just looking to slow this down while getting the last part of his own EMPs, a little bit far behind right now. But the Defiant don't have great initiation here until they get that EMP.
Gods gets pinched in the back. Nene and Mono both go for it, find the Hanzo, get rid of him. Gonna be delaying that Dragon Strike even further. Now a lot of pressure thrown down onto Neko.
Perfect bubble there to deny the Bio Grenade from coming through there as well from Mono, and potentially a Sleep Dart, which would have caught him there. Great timing. They've got total control right now, and they're about to have their own EMP. Nene's nearly caught up. This is terrible for the Defiant.
Yeah, 76% needs to get a little bit of healing through. Jonak quick scoping people out of the sky, trying to get that damage through. Taking out a pharmacy by yourself, not going to be the easiest thing. Cap is coming in onto the point at the moment here as we enter into overtime. Nano Boost still going to be ready. Jonak now slapping that one down. Throws it onto Meko, who's looking for a pick. God's coming back in with the Tracer. Managed to find Libero. The flip's going to be coming through to the Toronto Defiant. Now in control, but only at 33%. EMP going to be used. Catches 2, but Anamo is there with the sound barrier. Offers up that shielding to everybody else, and now it's the answering EMP out from Nene. Catches Jakpung, catches Gods. Two of the most crucial members that you could get with that hack. and they both get taken down. Mono swinging away with the Primal Rage, comes up with a double kill for himself. NYXL are back on the point. They're getting the flip, they're looking to close it out.
You don't normally see environmental kills like that on Village, but it certainly is possible if you can force the fight on your terms on the right side of the map there. They will get knocked off. Well played by New York around the ultimates and forcing those fights away from the point when Logix was getting close to the EMP is really what led to Nene catching up, matching the EMP there. They got to take the fight on their terms with the sound barrier, corralled them off the edge there. Anamo gets the knockoff, and you see Mono follows through. Meko making a big impact here. This style of play wouldn't be possible without a dedicated D.Va player to mitigate the far damage we're seeing out of Mangachu. You know, it's forcing a response of the Defiant, forcing them to play something a little bit different when you're up against one of the league's best divas.
Well, now it looks like everybody's going to be running something a little bit more standard. Both of these flex supports going to be moving over on to that Zenyatta. Jonak coming out with his staple pick.
Yep, it's going to be
Winston D. Winston on the other side as well.
Exactly. There's so much potential for Primal Rage environmental kills. The race to Primal is actually going to be so huge here in the neutral. So it's all about controlling the chokes, using those bubbles to get that AoE damage. And whoever gets the Primal first will have that massive advantage in terms of kill potential.
Yakfeng is off to the side, comes in for the flank, drops his way down. Looks to build up, but Mono is going to be the one surging ahead, but now the shield bash comes in and he nearly gets taken down. They barely managed to save him. Point going to be unlocked. Everybody still operating onto the side.
They know there's no bubble available right now for the side of the Defiant for the Winston, so he's going in, Mono is.
Yeah, starts pushing his way up there, 63% towards that Primal Rage. Looking for the booms, they isolate Nene, they manage to take him down. 100 energy, now going to be cut down to 0. Mangachu, however, going to be knocked off the side, and Amo coming up with another pick, but now Mono going to be taken down.
Heavy commitment here with the Transcendence as well.
Yeah, Jonak pushing forward with that one. Neko nearly with one of his own, ready to go. Grab is out. They're looking for some picks. Anamo on the side, trying to get that boop off. Unable to find it. Now might get punished for it. They chase in. They're unable to kill off the Lucio, but still, the neutral fight going the way of Toronto Defiant. NYXL, they got the first cap, but now they're going to lose it very quickly. Only 20% gains.
We've talked about this so much throughout the season, but it still holds true as we go back to this 3-3, the Winston Goats. Logix crushed in terms of the Zarya fight and ult charge because he lived through the first fight. Nene went down. Defiant are able to flip in the longer fight, and they're nearly halfway to the grab. Nene's working on his first right now. Logix is almost on his second. So Defiant have the ability to hold this with the support ultimates they have now. And if they can win that fight, they get another grab, and they can win the follow-up fight as well. Already now taking the lead in terms of control percent.
A rally out from Mangachu to start things off, so they look to maintain control of the point. Mono off on his own, gets that Mega Pack, now pops a Primal, and he's looking for the knockoff. And that is going to be it. No getting back from that one. Mangachu gets sent soaring down off the mountaintops. Mono rejoining here on the low ground, gets chunked out, going dangerously low, but now drops the bubble and the healing will start coming through. Sound barrier in from Aid, looking to extend the fight, looking to maintain control of the point of the bombs up over on the top. With that grab coming in, and Meko finds a double for the single of gods. He kills off the baby diva. There's not going to be a remake, but the bubble comes down on top of the grab. Mono keeps everybody protected.
He keeps everyone protected. Look at this buy here. The time buy from Aid is able to bring it up to 56%. New York Excelsior didn't identify where he was quickly enough, so small advantage gains here, probably about 4 or 5%. But the crucial thing now is, as he respawns, New York can control this choke. We're back nearly reset in terms of ultimates, so this next fight is basically a neutral one. If Anamo has to barrier here, it's a massive win for the Defiant. So that tool alone is not really an advantage for New York.
As they can build up more, they're actually just going to go ahead and open with it. NYXL going on the attack. Push forward, managed to find Mangachu. Seems like the Defiant were not ready for it. NYXL is usually the defensive squad, but this time they're feeling saucy. Push their way up, get that pick, nearly take gods out of the mech. They get him right there at the last second.
Now, it's pretty unusual to see New York attack like that. Like you said, normally a defensive team. They use the sound barrier, got the kills quickly enough to force the Defiant back, so they don't really trade ultimates there in the favor of the Defiant, as I suggested earlier, might occur if Anamo had to use that barrier in a longer fight. But instead, they were decisive. They cut the Defiant off. They didn't build ults. Logic's only a little bit ahead in terms of ult charge right now, but he's not in a position to build energy quickly. Now, Mao's going to look for the jump in, and then the Primal surprise from an angle, so they don't expect the way he's going to jump behind them and then knock them into the pit.
It was dangerously close there. Yangfeng over on the flank, nearly had just gotten taken down. Armor pack from Mangachu just in time to try to keep him alive. Mono going to be joining up here.
Here he
off
goes.
the side. Yep, Primal Rage going to be coming in. Yakfeng getting sent off the side. Does he have the leap? He goes over to the side, but Mono can join in. He makes it inside safely, however, so not going to be able to get sent off the side, but he's still isolated in a corner away from his squad, so he gets taken down all the same. That ain't now going to be available with this Graviton Surge. The energy as I lobs it in. Just off on the side, ain't the first one to get dropped. loses out on the barrier. Neko trying to keep everybody else topped up with a Transcendence, but now the healing is going to be expiring from both of these Zenyatas. Bomb out, looking for the pick, unable to find it. And again, we are into overtime. Anamo using the sound barrier. Rally rolling from Libero. NYXL, they have the tools to try to maintain control here and close this out with a 2-0. OT ticking away. No one can get there in time. And they will put that first map win on the board.
A clinic shown here by NYXL on how to use ultimate, stagger them together, set up a flank fight with Mono, knocking Yakpung away, coming in with a long range grab. Beautiful plays there in the end. A tough fought win, but New York Excelsior already adapting to the Defiant.
Well, a good start for NYXL. Let's see if Toronto can tie us up when we come back for the next map.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Welcome to Assist of the Week, presented by State Farm. The Defiant were looking to tie up the map score against the Gladiators on Horizon Lunar Colony, but unfortunately hit an unbreakable wall when Decay set off his EMP.
And welcome back. We are one map deep in this series. NYXL able to take a 2-0 on Nepal. Toronto puts a percentage on the board, but not quite getting close enough to force out an OT on their side.
It's hard when you have a really bad mismatch like the Yakpung versus Mono one that we saw in that fight. Primal's come in clean, he's hiding, he's looking for the flanks. Even when Yakpung was able to identify how to survive with a jetpack, he was too far gone. He was out there, his damage, his team didn't have line of sight. Yep. There's no way to armor pack when you're out in the air like that. And you know, at the end of the day, Mono dominated that matchup. They couldn't get value out of the Pharah with Meko in the lineup, and it's tough. You know, if you're Defiant in this case, New York has already pre-countered what your strategies were.
I mean, you're also kind of predetermined to lose this series. Everyone's kind of backing NYXL. They're thinking that this is going to be the perfect stage for them to take away. So truly do have your backs against the wall. You've got the crowd against you as well. So it's a lot of pressure for this squad that has recently come together with the newest members. But they have been looking better and better. They're steadying out the longer that they get to play together. It's only been a couple series so far, maybe 3 or 4, honestly, for them. But I think that the level of improvement that we've seen from them in just this short amount of time is still very solid, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it continues to develop. Obviously, we're still not even done remotely with this series. It's just one map deep, so we still have plenty of opportunities for Defiant to rebound.
I completely agree, and I think also right now what we're seeing from Defiant, especially from the Western players, is a projection of what their greatest strengths are. And for Mangachu in particular, that really suits this meta. He's always been a great Pharah player. That's kind of been his trademark. And for Pharah in this meta, you're going to do well until you run into the roadblock that is Meko. But I think as the season progresses and potentially going into next year, we're going to see a lot more depth from these players once they get more adjusted to working with this Korean roster. Who knows? I mean, Toronto could add more Western players, could go full Western, the opposite of Mayhem. Yeah. Well, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Nobody can know. But I got to say, like, so far, as you say, it is leaning towards being a little bit better communication, better coordination at the moment.
Yeah, there is some progress. We're going to go ahead and take a look That's some of the stats there from that first map, however, because Mono coming up pretty huge overall. We saw the Winston. It was just nothing but cleanliness from this man.
Yeah, check it out. 7k damage here. Pretty standard for a Winston player. But he does end up getting those 2 environmental kills, and that's what we were talking about, especially on Sanctum, that it does leap out at you as why Winston control needs to be important, or why it needs to be focused on why building that Primal Rage first can get you such an advantage. And also, why we were kind of highlighting where Mono was staying. He was next to the point, so not only could he leap in at a surprise angle and knock Yakpung off the side, but he's also there to contest the point if someone decides to step on it and look to, say a Sombra decloaks there, or you see someone jump over a D.Va, for example, Gods touches the point. He's there with the answer, so that's a really cool position he had there, and I think that, a lot of Winstons right now are emulating that style.
Yeah, also just perfect flank positions. He knows exactly when he can and cannot go in. Plays his limits very well. Mono has truly stepped it up a lot. When NYXL was struggling kind of earlier on in stage 2, it was a little bit on his shakiness, but now we do have Sebiobi taken to the stage, subbing in for Meko. So what you were talking about, that adjustment, having the D.Va to deny the Pharah rockets away, a little less reliable, but NYXL, they've shown that they have plans. So expecting that they have something prepared here. Maybe it's just straight back on the Sombra, but maybe we get something a little more spicy as well.
Certainly true. I mean, look, when you look at Nepal, it's a map where Pharah is extremely powerful. And not to say that on Horizon Lunar Colony, our next map here, the Pharah isn't potent. It's very strong on A, attack especially. But Sombra is absolutely necessary on Horizon Lunar Colony. You've got to bring your best Sombra here. We're seeing very few teams shy away from Sombra on this map. And when Sebiobi has been a Sombra specialist for so long, in this Stage 3 meta, where he even spent the majority of Stage 2 training and preparing to step into those shoes, you've got to go with your specialist. And that's how Sombra is being played at the moment by New York. Every team is different. Some teams are still running the flex tank as the Sombra, but most teams have moved into, you've got your Tracer player from last year, now specializing in Sombra. You pull out your flex tank, replace it with the Sombra, and that's part of the reason why we're seeing so much more prevalence of Pharah, because there's less D.Vas, because your D.Va player's out, you've got more Ana for the same reason. Defense Matrix being removed empowers things like Pharah rockets, like bio grenades from the Ana, so it's all just a big circle. That's why, competitive esports and Overwatch in particular is so fun to watch, is it does change over time. Of course we weren't going to see 3-3 purely until the end of time. That was just never going to happen.
This is looking pretty good. Swarm to Defiant, pushing out on the defense. We've got Mangachu back on the Torbjorn. Their 1v1 champion. And Logix on the Ashe. So not going for the Widowmaker that has been the more standard pick here on this defense. And I mean, even on attack, we already see Nene hovering over it right now with Libero back on a very familiar comfort pick.
The Ashe also gives you staying power on the point, not only with Bob, but it does give you a slight knockback. You have, less escape overall because you don't have the grapple, but the knockback can actually give you a little bit of peel. It's going to help the Torbjorn setup here be very potent. And as NYXL scout this out, we're going to have to look to swap Libero onto the Pharah. He's going to be, really, I think their best chance at knocking this down.
I mean, and you notice this is a Sombraless composition from the NYXL. Sebiobi is the one using the Roadhog, so they don't have that at the moment. See if it's going to be costly. For now, Mangachu losing out on that first turret. It's a bit of damage, but pulls his way back. Entirety of the Toronto Defiant has shifted over to this other staircase.
Oh, this is a great angle for Nene, though. Barriers away. This is a huge opportunity for New York, and Mangachu can't really set up his turret easily here. They've already been broken.
That takes Gods down to about half HP. They will be able to top him up. Another turret's going to be eliminated here. Libero trying to poke his head out. Starts taking a lot of damage. Logix can get that 2-3 tap, and that's what I'm talking about. Manages to find the elimination. Rez does come through from Anamo. He hits the dynamite, but it's not going to be enough to stave off that Mercy. Passive healing will kick through as well, so he'll be fine. One tick already going to be snagged here by the NYXL. Dynamite up over the top, looking for a little bit of extra damage to get that bomb online. He's unable to find it.
Bob can actually be very powerful against a comp like what the NYXL are running, because they don't have a lot of staying power until the tanks touch the point. No one else can really approach.
He's got to make sure that as Jonak, you are saving that sleep dart for the Bob. As soon as he comes out, you can shut him down.
There he goes.
Comes out, you still have 5 seconds left on that sleep dart. So Bob right now is hammering into the side of Mono, taking him lower, but that's going to be Mangachu eliminated by Sebiobi. before he can get that ult online. Logix finds Libero again. Dynamite tossed in, softening up those supports, but Nene cuts him down to size. NYXL looking like they might just be able to make this push happen. Still playing forward. Rez comes in from 8. Logix back into the fight. Mangachu still going to be running his way back in to try to get that ult down. Mono going to be heal denied. Going lower and low, but the whole hog is here from Sabiobi. He's empowered and he is shutting him down. 2 kills over to him plus a supercharger.
They saved the barrage too, and look at this hook. Logix was probably going to swap either way, but that's a nice stagger, and this is going to give them a better opportunity to just run to B here, operate around the barrage right now, and with the supercharger, the damage here is immense. It's immaculate. Nene's going to have so much potential to just knock anyone out of the map who gets too close. Even an Orisa is not safe here against this much damage when the supercharger's out.
Oh, you hear that Molten Core coming through. Gets the supercharger again, but Logic's going to be gone. Gods is a nice pick off on the Jonik with that self-destruct, but now the barrage comes in from Libero, still committing that one to the fight. And just to take down the enemy Mercy. But now he's too far forward. He's in the back, and Mangachu picks up the kill onto Sabiobi.
And one of our newest players here in the Overwatch League, but already rocketing himself up in terms of hammer kill records here. New York will swap Libero over to the Hanzo. That is why he is going into this hero right for breaking the shields. Sorry, that's why he used the barrage. Take a look at this again.
Charging forward, gets empowered, gets that smack. He had some assistance from Neko, but he gets the kill on the board. His first one in an official Overwatch League match. Hook coming through Jonik. He doesn't even get pulled in. Mangachu takes him down before they can even finish the hook animation.
And they're keeping Logix on this Ashe. They like the ability to just chip heroes down. He challenges Nene here. It's not a 1v1. Don't get too excited about that. It wasn't a fair fight. But Logix just uses his ability to rocket up to the high ground, just help blast him down with the rest of his teammates. NYXL, you know, not shying away from this composition, keeping Libero on this Hanzo for the shield break. But there's not a lot of follow-up here, and I'm not sure if the Hog is really going to be the right answer here because it's so difficult to land hooks, and you can't really stick to the point against all this damage, the Ashe especially.
Well, another Dynamite coming through. Holding them at bay here for the moment. Hook comes in as the Nano connects onto Sabiobi. He's going to be down to about half HP, no bio nade. Able to follow up, obviously, from the Toronto Defiant. Would have been enough to maybe shut him down here. Libero with the Storm Arrows gets rid of that bomb. Sabiobi will get finished off now as Mangachu is playing fearlessly up into the front, breaking down those barriers. Whole hog out from Neko, going to be expiring. Hook comes in, Mono gets pulled in deep. They get rid of him. Logic's eliminated again, but the res is there.
The Hog can give you shield break here and can offer you hooks.
Oh, man.
And on the defense, as you can see here, it's much more potent because your opponent has to come to you. He's always having to flirt with that hook range. So if you're trying to make the approach, it's not very easy. You see swaps coming through here for NYXL because the Hog isn't working. They're not able to find angles. They're not breaking down the barrier. And nothing is working against Logic's supreme damage on the Ashe. So they're going to look for the Goat swap here, the Winston variation, but it's just a little bit too late, I feel. Logic's already responding with the Sombra swap here too, and they've got so many ways to slow this down. Molten Core, the emergency solution, but it could also be a way to deny ult charge.
Everybody pushing forward. Dive coming in. That's going to be the Molten Core toss to the back. Yakpung loses out on his supercharger, but Nene going to be taken down, only able to build up 30% of that Graviton surge. Logix as well. Going to be eliminated, so delays on the EMP, and we have this weird standoff where it's NYXL who are around the backside towards the spawn room of the Defiant. Logic's going to be coming back in, turret destroyed from the side of Mangachu. God stunned up as Mono leaps here onto the high ground. Self-destruct out from God's looking for the pick, just going to be breaking down Libero's shield. No Bash is going to be available now. Halfway to that first tick, and Nene is back in on the Reaper.
This is a great choice when you're trying to take a point because you're the tank buster, the tanks delay, and you just prevent that.
Logic's eliminated again, just 5% shy
Huge
of
sleep.
that EMP. The sleep comes in on the Nene, but I don't know if anyone's going to be able to kill him off. Primal range into the back room as they look for the res aid. They push into the corner, now eliminated. God's knocked out of the mech. Mangachu gone. No one can get to the point, and NYXL managed to take B.
But they struggled through that B take. They had to swap composition twice there, and this is a very weak time bank right now in terms of finishing B on Horizon Lunar Colony. The Defiant have a great shot to come in here and crush it.
2 minutes and 2 seconds of time to beat. Let's see what they get on their attack.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
And welcome back. Toronto Defiant getting ready to go on the attack. We're able to delay NYXL down to 2 minutes and 2 seconds, but they got the cap here on B on Horizon Lunar Colony all the same.
Yeah. Mangachu, you know, the Torbjorn that he ran really helped burn that time bank down, and
he's on the board!
He's on the board. He's just one off of Surefour, the current leader. And it took Blase and Agilities a long time to get their first one, and he's very new to the league and is already soaring up there, and we'll see if he can catch Surefour. Could happen this series if he continues to play the Torb later on. He's on the attack now, though, so it'll be a while, you have to imagine.
A bit more unlikely, but we've seen strange things on attack here on Horizon. Surefour himself running the attack Bastion on Horizon Lunar Colony. We'll see what Defiant have put together for us. For now, it's looking like it will be the Pharah.
Looks like it, and no Meko here, obviously. They've decided to run Safe Yolbi, so no Diva. It's a Diva-less defense. A lot of the pressure is going to be on Nene to perform here. He won't face off against Logix's Widow, who's also running the Sombra, because he's looking for that time bank where he can use the EMP on B if they take A. So Nene has free reign in terms of Widow right now, so he should be helping Jonak here, as you see. He hit the first shot, Jonak hits the second. He should be helping to make Mangachu's life miserable. And it may even force the Defiant to swap composition here, and they will do exactly that.
Yep, just going to be looking for that Hanzo. Gods was showing it at the beginning, but they want to have that Diva to come through because of the Junkrat. So Mangachu will just go ahead, pick up the bow, and get ready to break down some barriers.
Nene here in a really good spot.
Oh, but the hook comes in. That's just going to be Libero taken down. Fantastic pick for the side of the Toronto Defiant. Sleep Dart's not going to connect.
Punishing his positioning there. He got greedy. And again,
that's another one. Just tapping him with the hook this time. Jonak gets taken down. Now Nene going to be eliminated by Logix on that Widowmaker. Remember, the guy holds the record for current accuracy in Stage 3 so far.
There's no res available. There's just no way New York can really stabilize here. They're going to buy time.
Yeah, it would take a miracle, but especially with Anamo going down, it's just not possible. So a very fast take onto A for the Defiant. Sabiobi just going to be dropping in. Manages to jump back, but he is still in behind the enemy squad, which is why God's going to hound him down. Gets that kill. Cap coming through.
He wanted to see if he could survive there and identify if Toronto are going to swap or not, because they're 635. They could have easily swapped to 3-3 here, and New York would have to identify that, then swap themselves. That's why you can see a bit of a mixture here on New York, as they're trying to wait and see if they need to counter this composition or run and match it, right, if it was going to be the 3-3 swap. This is not really a comp what New York is running, but they do have Safe Bilby out again.
Oh, barrier already getting pushed up here onto the point, but Libero comes in from behind, surprises Logix, and gets rid of that Widow. Mangachu barely surviving despite being hacked out. Mono just rejoining here. Over towards the point. Nearly gets clipped by that Dragon Strike, but does manage to stay alive and just continues to aggress. They push up inside the bubble. Neko trying to get the kill here with the shotgun. Gets the hook. Will finally shut him down with the help of Mangachu. But Yakpung 8, now the Hanzo all going to be gone from the side of Toronto, so have to wait, regroup, and try to get it on the next push.
Now my big question is, will we see a swap from Nene here? I mean, he's about to have the self-destruct, but this is a Zarya-less composition. This is a comp that has been really low win rate now across the Overwatch League. Vancouver Titans really being the one to use it the most and failed the most with it, right? Notably against the Los Angeles Valiant, their only loss of the season. You just don't have that follow-up there with the Graviton Surge after the EMP is barriered, right? You see Defiant swapping over to Lucio, and he will make that swap. Sometimes it's worth the Zarya over a self-destruct. You've got to match Logix here on the grab. You cannot fall behind when you're already potentially 3 minutes behind a time bank.
Sabiobi waiting, lurking above, drops down, the EMP comes through, manages to catch 5. The Bionade on the Yakpung as well ensures his death. Rest of the Defiant saying, all right, we're done. Let's go ahead, clean this up, and let us go again.
Yeah, you do see this, you know, feigned attack oftentimes when the Sombra comes out with the EMP. You know you can't win the fight. If you stick around and try to fight it and build your own ults, usually you're going to give more ult charge over to the NYXL in this case. You can see Logix still leading in terms of that grab charge because they did disengage so cleanly there. Nicely done, and they still have 2.5 minutes. The leader in terms of potential time bank right now. They can't feel too shaken just yet.
Yeah, just going to be the nano boost out from Jonak so far. Neko is close to his own, and pretty much leading in almost every other metric. Graviton Surge, neck and neck between Logix and Nana here for the moment. We'll see how the fight turns out and whether or not that's going to change. Nano boost going forward. 8 going to be taken down. Sabiobi manages to find the kill. Now the Shatter comes through. Manages to knock 3 to the ground. Logix pinned, taken down. God's out of the mech. And that'll be the cleanup here. NYXL hold them up again. Now they have that grab online with an EMP to
That's
boot.
right. That's exactly the combo I was describing earlier, and why Nene made the swap back over the Zarya. You wanted to match logic in terms of grab potential, but also to have this combo. And now is the time, as a Defiant fan, you start to panic because you realize A doesn't have sound barrier. Neko, no nano boost here, not even a fifth. And so there's just no great way of shutting down the EMP alone, so then they might even get to hold that grab. If they counter grab, you're gonna lose that fight and not have a grab for the next one. So this fight in itself, they're hoping for a pick, they're hoping for something like a pin. Otherwise, this is very unlikely to succeed, and he doesn't even have the grab yet.
Oh, they got the sleep on the same Yobi, so they draw everybody back. They look for the
That's
kill.
the pick they need.
Yeah, they managed
That's
to
it.
find it. The grab, however, going to be coming through. They manage to answer back with one of their own, and Yakpung's the first one to fall. Shatter out from Mono, manages to knock Mangachu down. Still looking for those kills. Massive Bionade onto the members of NYXL, but the damage just is not there to follow up.
This is about the support ultimates versus the EMP now too, if they want to continue to fight, but they are going to back away. The next fight will still be that same support versus Sombra situation here. They've got both ultimates, the Nano and the Sound Bearers. They should be able to deal with Sabielby's EMP, but if Anamo uses his second, they're going to have that extra hit point advantage.
Sabielby actually getting spotted. Good spy checking here from Gods.
Yeah, he's going to have to be the initiator here.
I mean, pretty predictable where he's going to be here at the moment. Tries to get a hack off as he drops down. But despite him not being in the fight, it doesn't matter because Mangachu and Yakpung both just going to get cleaned up.
They didn't have the peel there from Gods because he was trying to hound down the Sombra. He identified where he was, but he was hoping to get more than that to help his squad pick him off. You know, no doubt Neko was looking to help fire and kill him, get him down low, force him to translocate, but he was out of position, and the ground forces there for Defiant that weren't up there, obviously, with Gods, just kind of got cornered and killed. And now you're running out of tools, you're running out of options, and you no longer are the holder of a superior time bank.
Yep. Will be less even if they just straight up cap it right now. Sabielby on the hunt, spots them both out. He's trying to get the 2-for-1. Right now it's a pretty good opportunity. Bomb out over the side, unable to find anything. Sound barrier comes through from Anamo. EMP still going to be held by Sabielby.
Aid's waiting.
Yep, waiting for his opportunity. Aid holding on as well. Mono comes up with another major shatter. Takes 2 to the ground. They instantly get finished off. And Sabielby says, all right, you guys are just making it easy for me. I don't have to use the EMP. I'll just keep holding on to it.
Huge play by Mono means now New York know they're no longer playing for time bank, even a better time bank. They're playing for the win.
Yep.
They are playing for the win now. And they're going to stagger Gods. There's the sleep to make it even worse. Mono's going to be safe here. The bubble. But they get the hack.
They do get the hack.
But he'll be out of here. But this is terrible for the Defiant. They have to fight when they get Gods back, so more time being fought here. And Aid, again, he's still holding the sound barrier, but New York get to dictate the pace of this fight around that EMP, and then the longer fight, they get another grab. So very, very difficult situation for the Defiant right now.
It's also just another unfortunate circumstance here where they have to do these swaps. God's now going to be over onto the Zarya, meaning that they're further behind as far as the grab charge. Logic's just now coming through with the Sombra. He's building up pretty decently at the moment, currently at 54%. But with only a minute remaining, is that going to be enough? Shatter down from Yakpung, looking for something, but unable to find anybody. Now the hack forward onto him, the Bionade thrown in on top. They managed to get rid of an auto. Yakpung, he's staying alive. Actually not going to be taken down. Grab comes in solo onto Gods. Bubble comes in. He keeps himself protected for a little bit longer, but they do manage to finish him off in the end. Mangachu as well, just taking damage from behind. Libero swinging away with those left clicks, softening up that Brigida. Still going to be alive for a little bit longer, but with that tank gone, it's just going to be another push, a last-ditch effort here. They couldn't even get the first tick.
This is a nightmare for the Defiant. That sleep onto Gods was huge because he did no damage in the fight. None, builds very little ultimate charge, and then is solo grabbed and killed. Clutch sleep by Jonak to set all of this up. They've got their own EMP. They're going to have to be the ones that EMP first here. They absolutely have to, because Sabielby is going to look to wait until that sound barrier comes down for Aid. There it goes.
EMP comes through, manages to find 5, and it gets Anamo here.
Especially Sabielby. That's the most
now
important.
Libero going to be taken down. Sabielby comes in and gets 5 as well with one of his own, but Aid manages to drop the beat in time, but Gods is going to be picked up, so now severe lack of damage on the side of Toronto Defiant as they look to get this in overtime. Just to have a hope, a dream of trying to draw this one out. Yakpung hitting the ground, gets up for the moment. The first hit going to be coming through, second one on the way. They start playing for the sound barriers in from Anamo. Shatter comes down, manages to catch 2, and Mono gets absolutely destroyed. But Neko gets picked off as well. Grab now in. Nene catches them off guard. Aid gets taken down. There's no further supports available for the Toronto Defiant. There's nobody to stand on the point. There's no more time. It takes away. And NYXL, they close out Horizon. They lead 2-0 in the series.
Got a feel for Gods. He was isolated on the team. He swapped to the Zarya, was slapped, solo grab, killed. Next fight happens. He's stunned. He's on the ground. And then he's got a pistol to his head there with the, or rather say, Bilby's got the pistol to his head there. And I mean, there's just no way out. New York massive lead now, 2-0 in dominant fashion.
Absolutely. Lead 2-0. One more to close out that perfect stage. We'll see if we can get it when we come back after halftime.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
The New York Excelsior are trying to pull off their second perfect stage, and they are in perfect position to do just that, up 2-0 over the Toronto Defiant at the half. Welcome back to halftime, everybody. Malik once again here with Zoe, Bryn, and Josh. Guys, New York Excelsior are looking dominant as they are always. In this matchup, though, the Toronto Defiant, they are playing them pretty close. I feel like they're starting to gel a little more. Am I wrong in saying that?
I feel like there's potential there. I've said it since they brought on these new players in the roster. I think Toronto Defiant have still got this untapped potential. It's going to take some time to get to it because, again, they were the late additions. They've only recently come into the team. But they're getting there, and you can see that. Right.
Let's go ahead and jump into the highlights. Check out all the action that we saw there in the first half. What stood out to Nepal for me was the fact that they put Meko in this time instead of Seiko.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not mega surprising. I guess you would assume that they wanted to have a lot more diva presence on that map. They weren't really sold on that Yolbi diva we seen last time. So I get that. This was overall his third appearance we're having this stage, and that's crazy if you really think about it, since he is such an incredibly talented player. I mean, he's currently leading, now he's second in the league overall over season 1 as well as 2 when it comes to elims. So like, that's a deadly diva we're talking.
Yeah, I think it was an incredibly impressive display from Mano in particular as well on the first map. And then some nice coordination here. I was really impressed with the coordination in terms of halts and hooks from both teams actually when they were taking those these compositions. Both teams have really nailed that style down. And a player, I mean, this is amazing. Pikachu finally got on the leaderboard, Zoe.
Yeah, well, he warmed up. Bren, anything you want to add there?
What, in terms of the, I mean, I didn't coach
the amazing hammer kick.
Yeah, but like, since he played against your protege.
Sure, yeah. I mean,
He hammered a Roadhog. He hammered a Roadhog. Give him some props.
I mean, it's RNG at that point, you know. It's like anywhere from 300 HP to 2. I mean, he got him at the right time. I don't know. I mean, maybe he felt it in the winds of
Yeah.
horizon.
Yeah, man.
Is there wind on horizon? It's the moon. There's no wind at all.
No, I don't
Actually,
think so.
maybe inside air conditioning.
Maybe. Yeah, we must explore that. We must find out whether
Yeah.
there's wind.
Yeah, you guys.
Can we get the lore experts on that one ASAP?
ASAP. Let's make it happen. All right, well, guys, earlier today, we took to Twitter to find out from you at home just how far you think the NYXL are going to make it in the Stage 3 playoffs. So here's what you guys had to say. 31% of you, the majority of you, believe that they're going to make it to the semifinals. You guys don't think they're going to make it all the way to the finals as a runner-up or to win the whole thing, which is a little crazy to me. How
Well,
they've been playing lately. What do you guys think,
This
though?
playoffs is probably going to be the closest we've ever seen in Overwatch League history.
Right.
It's actually going to be crazy.
Yeah,
it
As
is.
far as I'm aware, you can still get tickets for it as well. If you're in the LA area, you definitely don't want to miss it. It's actually going to be bonkers.
Titanium's got a great point here as well. Sabi Yobi coming into the lineup, I think, has made a huge difference for this team.
Yes.
They now look like they have the potential to be able to win, whereas before, you really were only expecting them to make the semis.
Right, right. And here James says that the incredible talent in the squad, but they always seem to be missing something in the playoffs. Maybe it's their guts. I don't know. It seems like they choked up quite a bit. We're not going to revisit LW Blue Days, but you know what it is. You know what it is.
There you go. That's my man, Joe Nark,
Yeah.
as he calls himself.
Joe Nark.
I like it. Yeah, but he's right. There's some math involved. They got to win it, right? Just looking at
Jonah.
stats.
I'm still out at that. It's like a K-Coda version of Jonah.
And your girl here, she says that, she understands all the teams are set on winning, but the NYXL, they want it more than others.
Well, they probably should as well. I mean, they were in every stage finals last year, and this year they haven't made it to either of the
Yeah.
stage finals. So at the very least, an appearance would be expected from them at some point during the season. Remember, there's no stage playoffs in stage 4.
Yeah.
This is actually their last opportunity to do that kind of thing.
Right. I got a question for you guys. I'm going to put you on the spot real quick. What do you think? How far will NYXL go in your opinion? Ooh, I warned you I was going to put you on the spot.
I was looking at you.
I
I was looking at
he
you.
didn't say so.
I
first.
agree with the semifinals. I think a
Semifinals?
semifinals appearance. I think
Yeah.
the Valiant or the Spark could give them an upset, and I think the Vancouver
Right.
Titans should still be considered the favorites after seeing how they played with Stitch.
I think
Okay.
they might go out first.
Go out first round?
Yes,
First round.
Who are they going to hit in the
I mean,
quarters?
who is
Oh
eighth
man,
seed?
we should be able to work out the bracket.
Hey, you know
but it'll be
what?
someone down in
For
eight.
versatility's sake, I'm gonna go ahead and say to win the whole thing.
Okay. All right. So
Okay,
that's
it's-
it.
Could happen.
Math,
For versatility's sake,
Yeah.
they're going all the way. All right, so before we get back into the match, we wanted to check in with our insiders, Danny and Emily, who are in the arena with some very special guests. What's going on, guys?
Thank you so much, Malik. We're really lucky to be joined by some amazing cosplayers, along with Kiki Day, who's an amazing cosplayer herself, and she's judging the cosplay competition at the Atlanta homestand. So Kiki, thank you so much for being here. How impressed were you by all the cosplay that we saw this weekend?
I was extremely impressed. It sounds like there is no mic on right now, and that's what they're yelling at us. But I was extremely impressed by all of the talent that came out. They made it rain. Cosplay talent this weekend. It is phenomenal, and I'm just blown away by everything that I've seen come through the judging today.
And, you briefly mentioned it, but,
Danny, do you want to give her the mic again so she can respond, or?
Okay, no. Can you actually hold the mic for her? Yeah. I mean, before I ask my question, it's really simple, but I just gotta say, this Junkrat and the Mercia is amazing. What do you guys think? Right? So, Kiki, as a cosplayer yourself, can you just briefly tell us about the passion that goes into creating these amazing costumes and cosplays?
I think you just have to start somewhere. You have to be willing to make those mistakes, make those discoveries, and just be willing to fall on your face a couple of times, burn your fingertips, have those nights where you cry a little bit as you're trying to sew that last item. Give yourself some forgiveness, but ultimately, just have fun. Pick characters that you love and you geek out on, and just enjoy it. That's number one advice I'd give.
Okay. Before we move on, I really quickly want to just ask, how long did it take for you to create this costume?
This one was about 3 months.
3 months. Where'd you start with?
I started by sewing the lab coat here. That was my first step.
Was it difficult? Was it fun? How was it for you?
It was a lot of fun. It wasn't as difficult. I had the pattern already from when I made a tunic from Link from Breath of the Wild. So, yeah.
And really quickly, Miss, how about you? How long did it take and how was the experience for you?
Also 3 months. It was about half and half, torture and fun. I really enjoyed the vectoring and lasering all of the foam pieces, though, because, I don't know. I like working on a computer as much as working with my hands, so when I can do both to make a costume, it's more satisfying.
Well, it looks amazing. Atlanta, give it up for the cosplayers and Kiki one more time. That's all we have down here. Malik, back to you at the desk.
Thank you so much to Danny and Emily and Kiki Day, who was up there as well. The cosplay was insane.
It
looks beautiful.
It's
that
funny.
stuff is hard. Yeah.
It is.
That
People don't know how.
he, as a seasoned cosplayer, will be
I
able to tell you.
actually was getting into it, right?
I was getting ready to call you out on it.
Yeah, no, I'm getting into cosplay right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn how to knit, and like, I mean, yeah, it's
Your knitting's been okay, actually.
Yeah,
it's
my
your
knitting's
sewing
good.
and your general creativity that lets you down, I think.
Yeah,
the
man.
knitting was fine. I was trying to search for a Torbjorn for the Torbjorn 1v1, but nobody wants to cosplay as Torbjorn. Why?
Maybe this is your time to shine.
Yeah, this is you. They're leaving it open for you, Sideshow. Didn't you know, man? But yeah, cosplay definitely a labor of love. I used to date a cosplayer. I know how hard it can be. You know, it's long days, long nights. It takes a lot of dedication. But guys, the NYXL, one map away from another perfect stage. We're getting ready to find out if they're able to pull that off in just a bit. Stay with us.
I started watching some streams of the pros, and the pros were amazing. And one of the biggest guys I saw was awesome was Hydration. He was part of the Gladiators.
Suddenly I'm at every game, and
the beautiful LEDs, the cheers of the crowd.
It shields up. It's thunderous applause. It's roaring in the arena. It's a lot of clap, clap, stomp, stomp. You just kind of get sucked into it.
And I've been hooked ever since.
And we are back. We are currently 2 maps into this series. NYXL taking both of them, now have the lead, are at match point. If they can close out our next map of Hybrid, they will have completed the perfect stage with a 7-0 match record.
It's important to remind everyone what a perfect stage means. As you say, 7 and 0. It's a golden stage when you go map to map. You don't lose a single one. Only one team has ever done that in the history of Overwatch, San Francisco Shock. So they get to coin the term, the golden stage. It will not be the case for New York Excelsior, who's also had quite a few close calls this stage. In fact, many game 5s. But it doesn't look like this series is headed that way. If the Toronto Defiant can't turn things around on Numbani here, the series will end. We'll still play all 4 maps, of course, but, you know, right now, New York have looked stellar versus what the Defiant have brought to the table. And this is a map where Mono's playstyle is phenomenal in terms of his Winston on A. Still a losing record for the Excelsior on this map, but Defiant, you know, well, a little bit more so.
Yeah.
winless at the moment.
Will be set up on this defense. First, Mangachu back over onto the Pharah. This time out the gate. We'll have Logics on that Sombra. Nene is currently hovering over the Widowmaker, but once they spawn identify that Toronto doesn't have one, he'll be free to kind of change up and move over to whatever he desires. So we'll see what NYXL lands on here for this initial attack. Seems like it might be something a little bit more standard as Libero is already set up with that Brigida.
Yeah, Nene's just going to poke out here as they identify what is coming. And now that they've seen that it is going to be the Pharah, and he's probably going to stick with this. There's no way to shut him down in terms of ranged hit scan.
Well, I'll just want to go ahead and get right up in his face. Seems like they will be shifting around. It's going to be safe. Yolbi back over onto the Diva. Nene onto the Zarya.
It's tough to get line of sight advantage here, even though there's no enemy Widow on the other side, because you have to go either through this hallway they're taking now, or you have to go around this L-shaped, almost Z-shaped path.
Well, do make their way over here onto that right side high ground. Yakplung taking a lot of damage, has to drop back down. Wait to get topped up. That's as well in the mech, going lower and lower. They get the boop up there onto Safe Yolbi, but he's got the chance available, and Mangachu falls down to 5, and Safe Yolbi with one left click is able to finish him off. That is a very poor look here for the Toronto Defiant on the start of this defense, gods. This has to retreat. And NYXL, they are entrenched now. The second tick getting ready to come through. Toronto just have to let this one go. Feel all the way back up the street.
Great start from Saebyeolbi to get that opening kill. And I mean, you should almost never get this crushed by an ultless neutral fight. But the composition the Defiant is running, you know, you have range advantage, you have the ability to poke and chuck down from the sky, and New York doesn't have those answers, but Saebyeolbi makes the big play, gets that opening kill, and things fall apart. And this is a fantastic timing and a great ult advantage.
We'll see how much they can hold him here in the street's face. Manon taking a bit of damage here, just going to be sweeping back over towards the cart, but doesn't make it. Objects is able to come up with that one.
They did use, yeah, and they did use the nano boost for this, so it wasn't free. This is a little bit of stabilization here for the Defiant now. And if they can take this next fight with the EMP, force the trance to be used early, there's certainly a lot of ways they can turn this around.
EMP going to be coming in, manages to hack out. Jonak will be taken down, and Amo as well. Back for the moment now with the barrage, Mono going to be eliminated. So still holding. Those were the two major ultimates.
Yeah, and uncharacteristic from Jonak to not react quickly there, but it's tough because if you hear the translocator, you might instantly trance, but what if he just does an EMP, you know? Then you've wasted your trance, he faked you out, so he gets to hold the transcendence here. Saebyeolbi swaps over to the Sombra, but this is going to be tough to break out if it gets all this damage.
They're going to be pushing their way forward. Libero leading the charge with that rally rolling. Saebyeolbi tagged up somewhere off screen. Just managed to jump back and keep himself safe. Mono going to be slept here for the moment as Nene tries to build up that energy even further. Transcendence going to be out. Barrage comes through. Mono dead again. Unable to use that primal rage. Namo trying to make his way out, gets that armor pack in time. They're looking for the poop off. Oh, but he gets stopped by the tree. Sleepguard, however, will connect. Bubble up the side. And he's going to be taken down. Toronto Defiant still holding control here at the corner.
And this is more like how this matchup should have looked on A. They didn't prevent the capture of A, but they're still operating around A as if it wasn't captured. And you can see the struggles that NYXL are having right now against this Pharah composition with the, you know, with the goats that are running, the Sombra goats. Now, the grab is up, but it's still difficult to use against, you know, this flying composition that has high ground control.
Mono back up over the top, bombs that primal rage as he tries to get into the back line. Yakplung as well pushing forward. Doesn't have that primal, but he still manages to come up the kill on the Libero, and Jonak is dead. Takes him out the sound barrier. Too late for Manamo, trying to keep his team in the fight. Rejoin over here onto the side. Mono gets heal denied, but makes it around the corner back toward the spawn in time to keep himself safe.
Mangachu is by far the leader of damage in this game, more than doubling his next competitor, and this is just a huge problem.
Grab comes in, Nene. Managing to catch Yakplung alone here onto the cart. The Bionade goes through. They actually manage to keep him alive, but they have to leap away, so the cart will start inching forward. But he's straight back in, pushing up. EMP, however, goes out, manages to find 5, but Libero's still going to be the first one to get dropped. Jonak takes Mangachu out of the sky. Now Logic's going to be eliminated as well. And NYXL can finally start pushing forward. They get the fight win that they've been vying for so much time. Drained off the bank, now down to 220 for the rest of this street space. But they can get a lot of distance here off this fight.
They start with the grab, right? They take control. The EMP knocks the Pharah Mercy out of the sky. Makes it much easier for New York Excelsior to clean up house there on the ground. Incredible EMP there from Saebyeolbi. They're running Diva-less, but finally you see the reason why here with this composition. It's the Sombra that's making the big impact here. Defiant don't have a great setup for this barrage, but I think they're just going to have to go for it. It's the only way they can contest.
Out again here for Libero. Barrage online, no EMP yet. Logic still looking to build that one up. They find Saebyobi into the back, taken dangerously low, but
he gets
really,
it.
he pushes it to the limit. He gets rid of it. Saebyobi's still going to be taken down. Mangachu knowing exactly where he was headed, but the rest of the team in shambles. 3 members gone on the side of Toronto Defiant. Yakpo using that primal rage. Barrage comes in from Mangachu. He kills Nene, but Nene kills him at the same time.
That's the swap Barrage. They are going to be swapping heroes. There was no way he was using that in hopes that he was going to flip the point. Just wanted to see if he could get a stagger kill. Now the swaps come through, they do get to hold that EMP, and Jonek is so close to a trance, so as long as he hits it this time and does not get deleted during the EMP, they've got a great opportunity to not only defend this EMP, but push for C. Tough times to Defiant, desperation.
EMP out, they perfectly hit from it, it only got Libero, and the Transcendence is there this time. The side of Jonek. Clear victors here in the fight are the NYXL as they get that team wipe completed. The cart will continue to advance. Toronto Defiant now looking desperate. We'll see a swap onto the Doomfist for Mangachu, just trying to find a pick.
They're just going to hope to get those picks, as you say, and to stick to this card. EMP is ready for Saebyobi, though. It's really going to limit Mangachu's potential here on this Fist.
Absolutely, even with an Nano boost, not going to be able to do too much, and he is caught by it. The Shatter comes in as well. Charging to the back, cleans up the Doomfist. God's taken down just beforehand. Mono swinging away like a madman as the cart glides in safely. They make it to the end of Nimbani, not as strong as a time bank as they would have liked, and as what they started with, but they still make it to the end.
Yep. Great ult economy here for the Excelsior, minus that one mix-up there with Jonak not hitting the trads. They played that extremely cleanly, and oftentimes into a composition mismatch. Still, decent time bank.
157 in the bank. Let's see what Defiant get on their attack.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
It is time for the Toronto Defiant to go on the attack here on Nimbani. NYXL, they make it to the end. They get the point C. 1 minute and 57 remaining in that time bank. Of course, guys, make sure you guys go to twitter.com/ESPN Esports and vote for the Shanghai Dragons' first victory this year for the SB Awards in the semifinals at the moment. See if we can push them all the way into the grand finals.
Yep, you and I cast that. Got to be a part of history.
We did.
So,
hopefully we get invited to the ESPYs if they make it.
I hope so.
No promise on that one, but we'll see what happens. Got to make it there first.
Yeah, you heard the man here. For this attack, it looks like we are going to see, once again, Mangachu on the Pharah. And Gods, I don't think we will necessarily see on this Hanzo for long term, right? As soon as he identifies it's not in a recent defense, he might go and swap. It still works, but it works better oftentimes with the Widowmaker in conjunction with it. I mean, Nekko's Tracer. I mean, Nekko's Tracer here, rare but quite good actually for flex supports.
He's going to be looking to suppress the NYXL, smother them. The amount of damage that these guys can offer up. Watt DPS. Oh, slept out of the sky though, his aid.
No healing. None.
Yeah, no healing at the moment. He does get woken up, and it's actually going to be Mono who gets taken down. The guy who had both supports ready to go, but he went in a little bit too deep. nothing that Anamo can do for him, just relying on Jonik sitting in the back with the Ana.
Yep, you know, sometimes 2 healers isn't enough against quad DPS. When you're out there alone like that, you just can't be healed through the damage.
Yep. Nearly getting the cap here onto A. Everybody zoned off. They will just be able to take it. NYXL now, they're in position to have to peel all the way back. Echo goes forward, tries to get a pick. Needs to play careful, gets that recall off, but he's right there. Mono waiting for him. Does manage to get the Tracer, but the cap is still there. Toronto Defiant have the cart moving.
That's just going to be a slight delay here now for the Defiant, and they're going to commit on it. They want to stagger the whole team and get ults, but it's not working.
Great shot there from Mangachu, pushes Mono over to the side, gets that direct hit, throws him in midair. They have that EMP barrage combo ready to roll. Now Jonik going to be taken down. God's able to snipe him out with a headshot. Going to push them forward, unable to quite find that one, but Nene just does not stand a chance. Didn't have the barriers ready. There's no healers nearby to try to top him up.
Without Nene, there's just no fighting this either. They're going to keep rolling it forward. He loses the potential to build ult charge here on the retreat. He's even going to swap over right now to this D.Va. We talked about how this could be a serious issue in this series versus Mangachu's Pharah when they don't have a dedicated D.Va player. We saw Meko on map 1 on the Paul, but we're not seeing it here, and it's a big problem.
The other problem is if he gets caught by that EMP, the defense matrix is unusable. It doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
So
Or
needs
just
to be careful
right-clicks.
about his positioning, or Mangachu just going to be taken down as the EMP rolls in. They did catch Nene. It allows for the Dragon Strike to come through over towards the cart, but everybody else is already split off. Poor timing from the side of Toronto Defiant. Cards slipping out of their hand. They had a stacked deck. And now they're just spilled all over the table.
And all the same, we're going to see this chase here as they look for more staggers. The hack came through onto Aid right after the pick onto Mangachu as well, so there was no way to get a res off from Aid. So great coordinated play here from Saebyeolbe. They knew the best way to shut down this far is to send Nene in on the D.Va, then also prevent the res, so there's just no follow-up there. So yes, they have the barrage still because, you know, he was killed before he could use it, but they don't have the EMP with it, so now it's going to have to be a nano boost that comes through for that barrage. And he salutes Nene because he knows Nene's just waiting for him. It's his job to shut down the barrage right now more than anyone else's. Jonik could sleep as well. That's the other potential here. But he's just tracking Nene, waiting to see where that matrix lies. Here's the nano.
Hack onto him. Sound barrier coming out in response. The barrage still going to be dropped in, but sleep comes through from Jonik, and Neko's going to be eliminated here at the same time. Pace forward, Mangachu going to be blowing himself up. Then he gets right on top of that enemy Pharah. Logic does manage to pick off Saebyeolbe. They got the res onto the Ana. Toronto Defiant still looking for the fight. Sleep guard from Jonik this time, not going to find the hit, but gets that nano forward onto Mono. He's just zapping and zoning everybody back towards the spawn.
You don't have that EMP, it's so much harder to use the barrage. You know, maybe you could shut down the D.Va with the hack there, but you're not going to necessarily be able to stop the sleep dart from coming through. So many ultimates used for the Defiant. And they're struggling to push this cart to B after such a great start.
Even if they can get through here on this next push, time bank still going to be in their favor. Bomb up over the top, Nene looking for a pick, and Mangachu's got nowhere to go. Does get taken down, Neko falling just behind him.
We've seen Libero on the D.Va. We've seen Saebyeolbe on the D.Va, and of course Meko when they're running that roster. But Nene seems to be the most consistent D.Va so far at shutting down what the Defiant are trying to do here on this Pharah. And they're making Mangachu's life really difficult here. He's just not able to find the angles he's looking for, constantly slept, constantly under threat from the D.Va, picked off by the D.Va bomb in that last case. He just can't play the game the way his composition is designed to do because they're constantly shutting him down.
Jump up over the top of the translocator. That's going to be EMP and nano boost out from Jonik, but Anamo going to get caught. Weakened, but still managing to stay alive. No further follow-up available here from the side of the Toronto Defiant. Again, the Dragon Strike. Just such a wide open area. There's no way to really reliably clip anybody with that one. Now the EMP comes through. Saebyeolbe leaps forward, and he does get knocked out of the mech, and he hacks 3. Yep, kills. Not quite falling it, but as I say it, cast a curse from the side of the Defiant. Sorry, guys. 3 kills, now 5. Go over to the NYXL.
You know, when you hack the Pharah, in a way, you prevent the Mercy from flying as well, because once the Pharah falls down, you get Guardian Angel your way back into the sky. Aid gets caught there. No way to really escape. Mangachu is pushed back. Great EMP again from Saebyeolbe. He's consistently hitting these mid-air EMPs to knock down the Pharah Mercy, and that's what the Defiant are operating around.
Ooh. Well, they stopped Nene from making it back into the mech, so we'll be down that D.Va for a little bit longer. So that Mangachu can try to get some serious damage in. Libero popping that rally, trying to stay alive. Maybe caught off guard a little bit by the nano boost. Sleep gonna connect, but it's after. Libero gets taken down by the barrage. Mono now way into the back by himself, isolated. Mangachu gonna get picked off. They managed to find Mono, but Nene's gonna be rejoining, so still have somebody in the front line. Oh, but man, Neko Gets the
turns
snipe,
that
gets
around.
the Bionade, completely dunks on Jonak there.
Jonak kills the Pharah, but he gets killed by Neko, so loses the Anaviana out while his cooldowns are up. And this should be B sliding through here for the Toronto Defiant, but a great time bank becomes a very small one.
Very much like we kind of saw from the NYXL, but still going to be more to work with for them comparatively. Mono gets
And
that
Nano.
Nano. Actually still going to be playing for it. Libero and Sabiobi have both been picked off. The damage not going to be reliable. Mono getting slept, still somehow surviving. Lasts for so very long, takes the clock down to 30 seconds. And again, they guarantee a superior time bank.
And it's a panic, too, from Logix. He's solo EMPs Mono in this moment where he's got the Nano. He's terrified that perhaps New York might be able to turn this around. He knows with the Nano there, the commitment's there. They're like, man, maybe New York can turn this. If they're confident, we better take this seriously. But the EMP ends up being missing now that they used it there. It's missing. It's a crucial tool for this follow-up fight. Megachu's on the Hanzo. Knows the Pharah isn't going to work well here.
Just looking for that snipe around the backside. Sabiobi going to get spotted out. That's a cannon there from Yakplum. Just managed to reveal him. Jump forward though. 3 members hacked by the EMP. Nene gets a double kill with the bomb, making a triple scotch. Gets knocked out of the mech and finished off by Jonak. Cleanup continues to roll through. Now just pushing forward, looking for those staggers, looking for that extra damage here to build up that next EMP.
The hack here also verifies that Neko has the Nano Boost ready, so they're going to be very well prepared for both Yakplum's Primal and this Nano Boost. Take a look at this Diva Bomb here. See the hack comes through. Yakplum is hacked, so can't bubble there to prevent that damage from coming through.
Can't even leave away.
Yeah, so there's no way out of that one. You can't leave, you know, when you're hacked.
Well, unfortunate here for the side of the Toronto Defiant. Are now down to 40 seconds. Mono goes forward and gets that Nano Boost with the Primal Rage rolling. Still has 5 seconds remaining, and he is just juggling Neko.
He chose Neko. He knew he was hacked. He knew he didn't have Sleep Dart there, so he
Yep.
couldn't actually prevent him from chasing.
Yeah, it takes him down. Mono will finally be finished off. Yakplung able to come up with that one. Launches the bomb. Looking for something. Manages to get rid of Libero. Brigida going to be out of the fight. Logic pushes forward. Gets both supports with that EMP. Anamo rather living for a little bit longer here. He'll be able to stay alive. Has that sound barrier ready to go.
All right, this is actually a great opportunity for the Defiant to finish this map because they have the advantage now. New York trickling in slowly. It's a 6v5 fight. Someone's going to have to buy time. Here comes Mono.
Toronto has to get across the finish line here. Trying to get that draw situation. Yakplum going to be taken down. Sabiobi still holding on to the EMP. Series pretty much over in that from now. EMP goes out, manages to catch the members of Toronto Defiant. Neko trying to stay alive, trying to keep everybody else topped up, but he just can't do it. He cannot do it alone. Aiden was taken down just beforehand. They get the cleanup. The OT will dwindle down. NYXL moving up 3-0 here in this set. They close out the match, and they have the perfect stage, 7-0.
In map 1, it was Meko who came in on the Diva to shut down the Pharah. In map 3, it's Jonak with the sleep darts, and we're seeing Sabiobi with the mid-air EMPs, completely crushing the strengths of the Defiant, neutering the Pharah. Well-deserved, perfect stage.
Still looking for the 4-0 though. One more map to be played. We'll see if Toronto can put one on the board when we come back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
ball one more time.
The Vancouver Titans, Stage 1 champions. The Shark have done it, Stage 2 champions. Make some noise for the current holders of the California Cup.
That's right, August 24th to the 25th. We're bringing the homestands back to LA. Valiant gonna be hosting. I know you guys have been having a fantastic time this weekend. So for those who have not yet attended a homestand, I highly recommend that you get your tickets now while they're still available, because we sold out the first two, and I'm sure the third is gonna be the same.
Yeah, this one's really special to me. Obviously, this is where I grew up, and you know, when I was the age of a lot of the fans out here, I didn't have anything like this. I watched StarCraft Brew War on a CRT monitor, so I'm glad that we've evolved and everyone gets to experience this now in Georgia and Atlanta. And I'm glad you guys are here.
It's been a fantastic weekend thus far. Some exciting matches. I mean, the hometown moving up 2-0, of course. Always something to celebrate for the Atlanta crowd. But NYXL at the moment have just clinched their perfect stage, 7-0. One more map to be played as we get ready to move into Havana. One last-ditch effort for the Toronto Defiant to try to put a win on the board.
Indeed. You know, it's tough times when, you know, the strengths of your Western players is in their DPS. Logic's on the Sombra, right? So we're headed to Havana. Logic's on the Sombra, we're seeing mostly here, not the Widow. With what New York is running, it makes more sense, and especially with this map pool, you've got Mangachu's Pharah shut down by so many different things on the side of the NYXL. They prepared for this well. They wanted that perfect stage. They've earned it. And it's, you know, defeating Pharah for most of this series has been why New York Excelsior is taking these leads, getting ult advantages, making it tough for barrages to even occur.
Well, looking like a different style of bunker here for the Toronto Defiant. To get ready to start on this defense. We'll have Yakpung back over onto the Orisa, but Logic's going to be on the Widow, Mangachu on the Torbjorn, and God's coming out on the Mei.
Yep, so seeing this setup here. I gotta say, you know, I think what everyone's mostly excited about going to this is going to be the potential for another hammer kill coming through.
That's true. Can he tie up a Surefour? We're gonna find out here in just a bit as NYXL pushes out the gates, and Anna gonna be over onto the Widowmaker. Libero right now on that far with Sigyobi on the Hanzo.
Yep, now, we saw Defiant do this yesterday. It's a composition coined, you know, everyone's coined the Clockwork Vendetta comp. It's very difficult to deal with. It comes from a Contenders team, like the name Goats. Very powerful, very difficult to break with lots of different styles. It's not easy to die because you've got so much CC and slows, and you know, you have the barriers, so poke isn't very effective against it.
Well, Jonak gonna be taken down. A good start for Defiant on this defense. God's just trying to get a little bit of a flank angle from above to weave in those right clicks. Mangachu getting yoinked over to the side, actually maybe even saving his life against Nene. Tries to push up to get those shotgun blasts in, but is unable to do so.
You know, when you're trying to run the Pharah here, you're at risk of being killed by the Widow. You try to dive in, you're going to get slowed by the Mei. You're going to get walled if you try to run regular Goats. I mean, it's a kind of counter-all composition.
You can see there, slight lack of communication, goes for the hook as the wall comes up from God, so denies that potential hook away.
Tough to do. You 3 Koreans, you got 3 Westerners on this roster.
Yep, but he still managed to kill Jonak, so that's always a very solid thing.
Echo's always been a great Roadhog player, and you can see it here. The accuracy is real. And then another hammer kill!
He's on the board! Tied up with Surefour!
Killing the Widow with it this time.
2-2! Gets right up in his face, and he even takes down Saebyeolbe. Not with the hammer, but still impressive stuff from Mangachu.
Teams need to respect this composition.
Ooh.
You know,
it's out of the sky.
We're going to watch the hammer again. Everyone has to see this. I don't care what we miss.
Yeah. Just run at him. He's slowed up. He can't escape. I guarantee it. God's there with the assist. Mangachu tied for the lead. Can he move past Surefour?
Teams need to respect this composition, though. I'm serious.
Yeah.
All right, Logix gets picked. That's an opportunity here for NYXL to use the positioning they have more aggressively.
Use the wall to get the res off in the back. Nene looking for the shot, and this time Logix comes out on top. Turret gonna be destroyed here from the side of Mangachu, but it is just an all-out brawl as Yakpung gets taken down. But Toronto Defiant still coming out on top.
The thing about the Dragon Strike that's ready for Saebyeolbe is it may force the Defiant to reposition away from the Mei barrier, or excuse me, the Orisa barrier. But for the Defiant, they can just move around and operate around the defensive blizzard they have set up now, the Molten Core. You can't get a positional advantage with this Dragon Strike without pairing it with something else. Libero's going to swap back over to the Roadhog here, was trying to match the Mei, but doesn't have positional advantage, doesn't have the ability to poke with Icicle, so can't build a Blizzard. Toronto has almost checkmated this map in terms of ult economy right now because the New York just can't break through.
Well, Dragon Strike going to be coming in, looking to hold them all together. Ice Block comes through. Molten Core going to be thrown down. Blizzard still held by Gods. Now going to be tossing it out. The Icy Hot combo coming through, but no one really going to get caught out other than Libero. They do manage to take him down. Is at the cost of Mangachu.
Yeah, no pain relief in this Icy Hot.
No, not at all. And Nene, as he gets dragged out, Logix is ready for it. Gets that headshot. This NYXL, they're down below a minute now.
This style of play is getting very popular in Europe, and its win rate is rising right now. And I have to say, it feels like a catch-all composition. Does anything really counter this? You can't dive it, you can't poke it. You know, you can't match it when you have a positional disadvantage, and New York seem lost. This is not something we're seeing really a lot of in Overwatch League. Toronto already used it themselves yesterday, but New York, maybe they haven't really encountered this too much yet, so they look a little bit stumped, and this is the best map for it right now in the pool where you have this choke.
Oh, hook goes through, Mono disappears, and now Jonak going to be taken down as well. No Rhine Shield to stand behind, so once that Winston's gone, that bubble, the only thing you had reliable, oh, he was looking for it.
He almost got it. Would have taken the lead.
Yep.
All right, 15 seconds to go. This is borderline full hold right now. And New York has no ultimates but the trance, and the trance isn't going to get you in here.
You just push everybody out of it with a whole hog here, perhaps.
Yeah, or they can just step back and wait.
In for sight, up first, the hook comes in, they find Sabiobi, they take him out of the Mac. Damage mitigation completely gone away. Now the whole hog really can start ripping people apart. Logix nearly going down to the back line. Now Nene going to be eliminated. Yakpung coming up with a kill. Mangachu looking for that next Molten Core. Nearly has it ready to go. Trying to soften up Libero here as he plays in around the cart. Looking for that full hold, Toronto Defiant. They want that map victory, and it looks like they might be able to find it. Jonak going to be taken down. Molten Core out over onto the cart to try to zone them back. Jumps up over the top. Makes it very difficult for NYXL to get there. They barely tag back in, but the kills start rolling through. Mangachu gets the double to close it out, and they get the full hold around the first corner.
Clockwork Vendetta, a team that was ridiculed at first in European contenders for running this style of play, started winning more and more and more. And as their win rate rose and their position in Europe rose, this style has permeated other regions, and now the Overwatch League here with the Toronto Defiant. And I can bet you they are watching this and smiling right now because this is a composition they built, and Mangachu gets another Torb kill while using it.
He's taking a step forward, trying to be the superior Canadian here at the top of the border.
It's not fair. This comp didn't exist when Surefour was trying to get his hammer.
That's true. But man, he's nearly there. Do we get to see the Torbjorn on attack? What do you guys think? Should we see Torbjorn on attack? It's not outside the realm of possibility, especially when it's Mangachu sitting on stage.
And you know what? I mean, look, when you only have to go a few meters here too,
yeah,
you can try a lot of different things on your road to getting that first cap and winning the map. The New York Excelsior are kind of forced to either mirror what the Defiant just did or run a Bastion composition here. They're not first in this Clockwork composition. They don't know how to run it. They've never done it before. They've never run it before and clearly don't haven't really scrimmed against it that much because they were unable to deal with it. The execution was good on the Defiant. So you go to what you have scrimmed, what you are familiar with, the Bastion comp. That's the only composition that can really get you a fuller hold here, as you and I like to call it. But the Defiance comp could still shut them down. I mean, it worked great before. Let's see if it happens here. Any hooks could actually end this map and the 4-0.
Mangachu having to crouch down there for a little bit. Got body tagged by Nene. Slowly advancing the cart while the rest of the squad tries to wrap around here. Get that halt. They nearly take down Neko, but perfect placement on the wall there from Gods. Buys him enough time to take a breather and get topped back up.
I love this barrier placement. It's not about winning the fight, it's just pushing the cart.
Try to yoink him over onto the other side, unable to do it. Neko will get taken down now. Yakpung gone as well, but the cart is already so very close to where it needs to be.
That was a very close call. Had they pushed it any further, New York would have had to jump down.
And now they've gotten it so close they can actually go through the building to get back to the cart. They don't have to push up the main street anymore.
Sabiobi's scouting for exactly that. He wants to see if they are just going to take that wraparound, and they will do, as you say, this left side approach. There's no way they could take Bastion damage on their way through. And if they just stick to this cart, someone is going to have to tag, and they won't be able to do it for long. Not against this damage output.
Yep. Again, looking for it, unable to find the hook, and Yakpung going to be taken down. Neko takes a breather. It's long enough to keep him alive. 8, however, going to get picked off. Sabiovi putting in that damage while he was going for the res.
Now this is when you start wondering, you know, if you're Toronto, should we swap this up? Is this working? You know, it was working before it got us the cart forward, and it was great on the defense, but this isn't going to break the composition. And now that, you know, the cart is up there and we have to get to the actual win condition, we have to get to the last few meters, we're not able to win a team fight here, and the damage output's too strong. Perhaps a swap might be advised here. They've still got 2.5 minutes. Looks like they're going to go for at least one more attempt here, but it's going to be tough to break this from what they're running right now.
They have the adaptation of Mangachu over onto the Hanzo, just wasn't able to get too much damage in, so still is quite far away from that Dragon Strike.
That's what they're building for.
Ult coming in, and Neko just, there's no way to mitigate it. It's just so much damage being output by Libero right now.
Yeah. I mean, if he does get the Dragon Strike, which is going to take a long time, then they can force the New York Excelsior to reposition. Then maybe they can roll the card in, but it's already rolled back a little bit here. He's mostly just shooting at barriers, hoping to break it so that Neko can get a hook and they can disrupt the setup. But New York's about to have 6 ultimates here. Oh, this is going to be bad.
Yeah, just waiting for Logix to start pushing his way up. Hasn't been spy checking. Oversight up now for Nene. Jumps into the back, looking for the hits. He tries to jump over to the other side. In all that confusion, Mangachu is going to be the one getting picked off. So again, further delaying that Dragon Strike. He's only at 56%.
Valkyrie
Hulk's
for the
not
break.
going to be able to find anything.
Yeah, Valkyrie for the break here. It's just not enough. They can't get through.
Logic's now going to be taken down. Nene coming out on top. Neko with the Bio Nade. Sliver of HP remaining. 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock for the Toronto Defiant on this push. The res comes back in. They get the Hog back into the fight. God's playing up on the top, down below half. With that Diva suit, might just get desuited right now. Look how far the card has moved up, though. They need this. The Supercharger coming in. Libero popping out the configuration tank, looking for the kills. Neko going to be taken down now. Yakpung falling as well. As the Holt into the side, can't quite line up the next shot, but Nene is there to scoop him. Gets rid of that baby Diva.
This is deeply concerning for the Defiant right now. They have Whole Hog. That can help break the Orisa barrier. New York going to have to set up one more time, but they're sticking to the point because they know that if they're not contesting, if they're not touching it, could be backdoored by a hero swap they haven't yet seen. Nene looking for the flank, but look, this is it. This is their shot. We're going to see if Logix can find an angle here. Dragon Strike.
Dragon Strike's coming through. The Immortality Field should be thrown down by Anamo. He uses it. They get rid of it. The Storm Arrows go through. EMP, however, out goes and catches 4 members on the side of the Toronto Defiant. Neko's going to be the first one to fall. God's going to be melted out of the mech before he can get that self-destruct online. They get the res off, bringing Neko back in. Holt coming through, looking for that hook, but now Logix is going to be taken down. Toronto Defiant with 12 seconds left might actually be Fuller held 0.82 meters away is as close as they've gotten.
There's just no way. The Aqua couldn't use a supercharger in time. It was hacked. And now they can't touch.
Somebody's got to touch, but I don't know if they can do it. They barely manage to force out the OT8 over to the side with the Valkyrie rolling. Does manage to tag it out, but Libero takes him down. Logix over on that Wrecking Ball's operating further away. The bomb goes up, but the barriers are there, as is that Immortality Field. They take him down. The configuration tank to finish off everybody else. Going to be pushing forward, spraying down, and Mangachu going to be eliminated now. Just have to get rid of Gods. They pop him out. They'll finish him off, and that OT is going to start ticking down. Toronto Defiant, they need an absolute miracle. There's an EMP tossed in just for good measure. It catches 8. He gets eliminated. Now it's all just on Neko, but he will fall. And NYXL pull off the Fuller hold. They get their 4-0 on top of the perfect stage.
Fearless with the defense there, going for the Bastion all in defense. A great way to get that Fuller hold after the Clockwork style held them fully at A. They were able to hold even stronger there. No missteps, no mistakes there on the defense. It was watertight, and that's going to be the 4-0. Defiant probably thought that map was over, but the New York Excelsior, very resilient, no fear, and another 4-0 on the board for this team that's still chasing after Vancouver Titans there for the #1 spot in season standings.
I've already had that Atlantic Division clinched, but with the victory here, have the #1 seed for the Stage 3 playoffs. So things looking very bright for the NYXL here in Atlanta, picking up those back-to-back victories.
They might get their first final this playoffs. You know, we've been talking about it. It's one of the craziest playoffs in Overwatch League history with the 8 teams we have and how all their styles are different.
Well, that's a conversation for the future. For now, let's go ahead and throw down to Danny Lim, who's standing by with Mono.
Wolf and Achilles, thank you very much. Yes, I am standing next to Mono from NYXL. Congratulations on your victory. Congratulations on making it to the Stage 3 playoffs. And congratulations on finishing the Atlanta homestands with 2 victories. So, Mono, you've been here for a couple days now. Is there anything that really stood out in Atlanta, something that you really liked? 좀 쉽게 말씀드리면은 일단 승리도 있고 프로 진출도 너무나 축하드리고요. 근데 또 오늘 아틀란타 홈스탠드가 마지막 날이잖아요. 지금 아틀란타에서 며칠 정도 계셨는데 좀 제일 기억에 남는 게 마노 선수에게 있다면 뭐가 있을까요?
이렇게 되게 큰 경기장에서 하는 거 처음이라서 너무 좋고 많은 팬분들이 보는 데서 경기하는 게 제일 좋았던 것 같아요.
So it was my first time playing in front of a huge crowd and a huge venue like this. And just give me 1 second. I forgot the second part of the question. My bad. Or second part of the answer. venue 크고 또 뭐였죠?
많은 팬분들이 있는 데서 경기하는 게 좋았던.
So big venue, huge crowd. Those two things really stood out, and that's what I really loved about Atlanta homestand. Second question, I do have to talk about the Stage 3 playoffs. You guys had a perfect stage. Is there a team that NYXL is looking to just totally destroy? It's not beating them. It's not just you guys winning. Just totally just dominating, defeating them. 자, 다음 질문. 스테이지 3 프로 퍼펙트 스테이지로 지금 이제 끝내고 들어가시는데 그냥 이기는 게 아니라 중요 포인트는 이 팀만은 우리 뉴욕이 꼭 발라버리겠다 하는 팀이 있다면 어떤 팀이 있을까요?
많이 약해지긴 했는데 그래도 밴쿠버를 한번 발라버리고 싶네요.
So this team has gotten a lot weaker recently, and that is Vancouver Titans. We are going to destroy you guys. I'm pretty sure Titans got the message. I am super excited. Mono, thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. Casters, back to you guys.
It's there from Mono, but let's figure out who our player of the match is, presented by Omen by HP. A couple different candidates, and Mono himself will be taking it home today here. The final player of the match here in Atlanta.
It was tough to pick, you know, there were great moments for Sabiolbi all series long, and Jonak as well there on the Ana in particular, shutting down so many Omega Choose plays there. But it's Mono who hits even the halts there at the very end, lead to the victory. I mean, you've got the Bastion set up, but it doesn't work unless you get those perfect halts and pull the attacking Defiant out. He had a clean game on the Winston. Ryan, excellent as well. He had those 2 environmental kills to lead off the evening. And Mono, this guy just couldn't be any more consistent. And he may be the leader that sends New York to their first stage finals come playoffs. That's what the guy everyone's looking at right now.
I mean, that's what they're going to be looking for. Uncharacteristic of them to have not made a final so far, but they're looking more informed than they have so far this entire season. They finally got that 7-0 start. They have the Atlantic Division, the first seed for the Stage 3 playoffs, so everything built up for them. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the playoff bracket for Stage 3. Starting off, it's going to be NYXL with the Dragons, and Spark versus Valiant, Shock versus Dynasty, and Titans versus the Outlaws.
Now, there is certainly a world where we could have the Titans versus Excelsior finals everyone has been hoping for. We haven't had it yet. But look at these 8 teams and tell me there's a clear favorite. Look at those 8 teams and tell me there's a clear favorite. There just isn't. Any one of these teams could take it. We could see a lot of upsets on the road to that finals here for Stage 3. I mean, this could be the best playoffs in terms of stage playoffs in Overwatch League history, and I think it really will be.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe the Outlaws will take down the Titans, give them their second loss ever. Maybe we'll have a Chinese champion for the first time. Spark have looked so darn good. But guys, it's been a wild ride. Thank you so much for joining us here in Atlanta. You guys are the MVPs, one of the best crowds I've ever been in front of. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the Watch Point post show, because they're coming up next to break down the action.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.
Sup, dude? Remember when we used to carpool to LAN parties?
Dude, we've come so far.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for some Overwatch.